What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about WWE thinking about going to TV 14 from TV PG again. We're going to be talking about why we think they should do this, and we're going to go over a few things why they might be on the edge of, at the very least, upping that rating to TV PG. We're going to talk about some things that they have been doing lately that has been making WWE a little bit edgier lately. So first, let's talk about the current state of the WWE. Their ratings have been plummeting over the past few years, and it's not worth hiding at all. It's clearly been known. WWE has to make some changes or the decline is going to continue to happen. And don't think WWE is not aware of this. They're fully aware of this, and it's why they decided to do the brand split in the first place. They knew they had to do something to change the direction of the company. WWE knows it performed best, though, during the Attitude Era. We will never see this era again. Sorry to tell you. Why? Because today's society, quite frankly, would not approve of that kind of content, period. Everything's, way too politically correct nowadays to be able to say the stuff they said back then and get away with it without causing riots and big old problems all over, social media and everything. But they can still push the limits a lot more than they do right now, I think. That being said, could they be doing something to make the sibling rivalry interesting? I'm proposing, speculating here, however you want to look at it, but I'm saying if WWE tries to make just one brand TV 14 to, say it's a reason they're going to make TV 14. Oh, we're going to go TV 14 so we can beat Raw. We're going to go TV 14 so we can beat SmackDown in an attempt to beat them ratings-wise. Maybe they can do that with some sort of ratings or sibling rivalry deal. Like I said, though, the brand I think it'll be is SmackDown. First off, there are already a couple reasons I feel like SmackDown is changing. I mean, first of all, the storyline segments. There have been a little more, how would you say it, explicit language used in the promos being cut lately. Not to mention one of the more memorable ones of late when Charlotte called Sasha a one-night stand. Sasha replied with Charlotte, if it wasn't for a Ric Flair one-night stand, you wouldn't be here. And that's definitely pushing the edge for PG. Definitely, I probably shouldn't even be considered PG, whether one way you want to look at it or not. I know some might say big deal, but this is something that has to be, be thought of as being avoided for a very long time in WWE. And here's the thing, though, the WWE has been promoting this whole new era. The former era being, more known as the PG era. And this can bring some more speculation as well. One obvious thing of this era is the bringing up of a lot of new young talent. We know that's part of the new era. But could the characters start to see a spin to a more PG-14, TV-14 dimension as well? You guys are going to have to let me know what you think of that. I mean, go ahead and tell me you think it's going to go up. You think we're going to be stuck with TV PG. But one of the bigger hints, though, also is the SmackDown Divas division. Here's my opinion of the Divas divisions, and I mean I don't mean to sound rude or anything at all. It's just straight up the way it looks right now. Raw wants to be known as, their Divas want to be known as superstars. You look at the superstars they got Charlotte, they have Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks was one of them bigger pushes of we want to be looked at superstars, not Divas. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but I look at SmackDown more in the way they want to be known as Divas. They go out there looking, acting more like divas than they do superstars. But like I said, I'm not trying to offend any female or person. There's nothing wrong with women wanting to be superstars. They want to be respected and looked at as, they don't want to be looked at as eye candy. I understand that. Something to look at, whatever. But from a man's perspective, why can't we have both, Why can't we have something to look at and a good fight? Let's put them together and make more money, WWE. But, I'm all in for the women having longer, meaningful matches as well. Like I said, nothing wrong with that. But that don't mean they can't look good doing it, obviously. Let's get back to the whole SmackDown Diva thing, though. I have two divas in mind when I talk about this. And they've been making, themselves quite known the last couple weeks on SmackDown. That's Eva Marie and Alexa Bliss. Both have some very interesting characters. I don't know if you call them X-rated, but, Eva Marie's character is being looked at as, the all-red, it's everything, sexiest diva in the WWE. And then Alexa Bliss comes out having a similar persona, calling herself, sexiest diva in WWE, whatever. But just this past SmackDown, Eva Marie came out, was going to have a match with, Becky Lynch. And her top has, just so happens to fall off and have a scripted wardrobe malfunction. And like I said, this was planned. That's not TV PG. That's pushing the limits. That's looking up on the bright side. Maybe WWE is starting to change, because it really does make you wonder if they're trying to get back to this too hot for TV era they had going on. And being a guy, I'd be lying if I said Divas matches weren't a lot more fun to watch back then. But hold up, that doesn't mean it's the only reason I'd watch Divas matches. I mean, don't get me wrong here. I've reached the point where a lot of matches, one-on-ones in general, Divas, Superstars, whatever, they just don't grab my attention anymore. So for me to go out here and say, you know, that they would go back to this Diva era, it'd bring my attention back a little bit more. But it's not just because, you know, of the whole concept in general, but it's just the fact that I don't watch a lot of WWE matches that are mid-card matches. They're just not as appealing. And I consider, you know, a lot of downtime that I just don't watch. You check out the storylines, you check out the main events, and the other stuff just isn't interesting enough. I mean, it's quite frankly the way it's got to be looked at now. But it's not only the Divas, you know, that need to change to make this TV 14. I mean, that's just a small part. There's a lot of other stuff that they did in TV 14 that made it a lot more exciting during that Attitude Era and everything. So it's, you know, it'd be a whole revamp thing, but I feel like if they're going to do it, they're going to have to slowly pace themselves. They're just not going to wake up one day and say, hey, we're going to be TV 14 and go from being this PG show to this crazy, hectic, insane show. I think it'd be something they'd slowly push the role into, but hopefully it is something they're getting into, because like I said, their ratings are plummeting. I don't want to see WWE go down the drain, but I definitely want to be more intrigued. Like I said, I'm not even as interested in it as I once was, but if they go back to TV 14, maybe it would make it more interesting for a lot more of the older viewers that aren't, you know, the younger kids' age of viewership. So that could get their ratings up in that sense. But hopefully this makes sense to you guys. Hopefully you guys, you know, tell me if you want to see TV 14 or if you think it's a bad thing and it should stay TV PG. But either way, guys, I hope you liked the video. We'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.